We're live from New Delhi, watching DD India News, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next hour. New goods and services tax rates come into effect from today, marking a historical shift in the country's indirect taxation. Prime Minister Modi says GST Savings Festival begins on the first day of Navaratri. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit northeastern states of Arunachal Pradesh and Tripura, slew of developmental projects to be launched. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar expected to meet US Secretary of State Marco Rubio on UNGA sidelines in New York. Meeting comes a day when India-US trade talks take place in the United States. Gaza Palestinian state recognition set to dominate UN General Assembly summit starting today. 4 major nations support two-state solution, prompting a furious response from Israel. And in Asia Cup, India's dominance over Pakistan continues. Beat the rivals by 6 wickets. Abhishek Sharma named man of the match. And on to the details now. Next generation GST reforms, or the simplified tax structure, comes into effect across India from today, bringing uniformity across food items with reduced number of tax slabs. Well, the shift to a 2-slab system of 5% and 18% removes the earlier 12% and 28% slabs. On Sunday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in his address to the nation, remarked that now it is turn of the poor and the new middle class to benefit from next generation GST reforms. The Prime Minister said the reforms would lead to a countryside GST savings festival, which will usher in a new spurt of economic growth.
Country is all set to adopt a simplified 2-tier tax system from September 22. Under next generation GST reform, a majority of goods and services will be taxed at 5% and 18%. In his address to the nation, Prime Minister Narendra Modi underscored that with lower GST rates, fulfilling personal dreams will become easier for citizens.
कल से देश में जीएसटी बचत उत्सव शुरू होने जा रहा है। इस जीएसटी बचत उत्सव में आपकी बचत बढ़ेगी और आप अपनी पसंद की चीजों को और ज्यादा आसानी से खरीद पाएंगे। हमारे देश के गरीब, मध्यम वर्गीय लोग, न्यू मिडिल क्लास, युवा, किसान, महिलाएं, दुकानदार, व्यापारी, उद्यमी, सभी को ये बचत उत्सव का बहुत फायदा होगा.
Prime Minister expressed high expectations from MSMEs and underscored their historic role as the backbone of India's economy.
विकसित भारत के लक्ष्य तक पहुंचने के लिए हमें आत्मनिर्भरता के रास्ते पर चलना ही होगा और भारत को आत्मनिर्भर बनाने का बहुत बड़ा दायित्व हमारे एमएसएमईज यानी हमारे लघु, मध्यम और कुटीर उद्योगों पर भी है, जो देश के लोगों की जरूरत का है, जो हम देश में ही बना सकते हैं, वो हमें देश में ही बनाना चाहिए.
Prime Minister called for every household to become a symbol of Swadeshi and every shop to be adorned with indigenous goods. PM encouraged citizens to proudly declare their commitment to Swadeshi, I buy Swadeshi, I sell Swadeshi, and stated that this mindset must become intrinsic to every citizen. He appealed to all state governments to actively support the Atmanirbhar Bharat and Swadeshi campaigns by boosting manufacturing in their regions with full energy and enthusiasm. Prime Minister noted that this year the government has gifted tax relief by making income up to 12 lakh rupees tax-free, bringing a substantial ease and convenience to middle-class lives. Highlighting the importance of simplified tax system, Prime Minister called the GST reform adopted in 2017 as beginning of a new chapter in the country's economic history.
जब साल 2017 में भारत ने जीएसटी रिफॉर्म की तरफ कदम बढ़ाया था, तो एक पुराना इतिहास बदलने की और एक नया इतिहास रचने की शुरुआत हुई थी। दशकों तक हमारे देश की जनता, आप सभी लोग, देश के व्यापारी अलग अलग टैक्स के जाल में उलझे हुए थे। ऑक्ट्रॉय, एंट्री टैक्स, सेल टैक्स, एक्साइज, वेट, सर्विस टैक्स, न जाने भांति भांति के दर्जनों टैक्स हमारे देश में थे। एक शहर से दूसरे शहर माल भेजना हो तो न जाने कितने चेकपोस्ट पार करने होते थे।
Prime Minister also shared a personal memory from 2014 when he assumed office as Prime Minister, mentioning a striking example published in a foreign newspaper. The article described the challenges faced by a company that found it so difficult to send goods from Bengaluru to Hyderabad, a distance of just 570 kilometers, that it preferred to ship the goods from Bengaluru to Europe and then back to Hyderabad. On September 3, the GST Council in its 56th meeting had decided to reduce GST structure from 4 slabs, 5%, 12%, 18% and 28% to 2 main rates, 5% and 18%, along with a 40% special rate for sin or luxury goods. Bureau Report, DD India.
Well, next generation GST reforms or the simplified tax structure comes into effect across India from today, bringing uniformity across food items with reduced number of tax slabs. The shift to a 2-slab system of 5% and 18% removes the earlier 12% and 28% slabs. Well, in a social media post on X, Prime Minister Narendra Modi wrote, and I quote, "This time, this auspicious occasion of Navaratri is very special. Along with the GST savings festival, the mantra of Swadeshi is going to receive a new energy during this period. Let us come together in collective efforts for the fulfillment of the resolve for a developed and self-reliant India," unquote. And for more on this, we have Mohanlal joining us. Well, Debyendu, with the shift to a 2-slab GST system of 5% and 18% today, how do you anticipate this change will affect various sectors, particularly in terms of pricing and consumer behavior? Will the small businesses in particular stand to benefit from this simplified structure?
Well, Lipakshi, of course, the much-awaited next-gen GST reform kicks in from today. There seems to be enthusiasm amongst both the consumer as well as the seller, because this perhaps will give a much-needed boost to the consumption in this country, because it is expected that the consumption would rise manyfold, which had been quite stagnant for some time. And people had been enthusiastically waiting for 22nd of September to kick in. With the new GST rates, there could be significant drop in prices, especially in terms of, the cars, electronics, which includes refrigerators, television sets, ACs, as well as washing machines, dishwashers. All these items, household items, would see a massive cut in GST, because remember, these were all in the 28% of the GST slab, which has now been moved to 18%. So therefore, we'll see a much reduction in the price of these goods. And Lipakshi, as you can see behind me, this is Connaught Place, where I'm currently standing. This is the heart of Delhi, where a number of shops that sells a variety of goods, right from clothes to electronics to everything, is available at this market in Connaught Place. So therefore, we'll see as the day progresses, we'll see the enthusiasm of consumers coming in to get to lay their hands on their goods, which they were waiting for the reduction of the GST rates. Because I was talking to a couple of sellers specifically from the automobile industry, they say that people were coming in, they were looking at the cars, they were waiting for this GST
Right.
rate cut to be implemented, after which they will make their purchases. So therefore, enthusiasm seems to be up in the market, Lipakshi.
All right, Dibyendu, of course, a very sacred day today and consumers were waiting for this day. In fact, Prime Minister Modi's recent tweet referred to the ongoing GST saving festival and emphasized that it aligns with the mantra of Swadeshi, especially during the special period of Navaratri. How do you think it will foster a sense of collective national growth now?
Well, of course, Lipakshi, Swadeshi and Atmanirbharta had been a slogan of this government for a very long time. And yesterday, Prime Minister's speech that spoke about Swadeshi will perhaps give another impetus and push towards consumption of made in India goods in the country. This could perhaps also give much needed boost to the manufacturing sector, where it will be encouraged to manufacture more made in India goods. For example, be it in the electronic sector, you remember the semiconductor sector is picking up. The iPhones are now being made in India. There are mobile phones that Samsung had set up a major factory here, right in the vicinity of the national capital in Noida itself. So therefore, the government is trying to give a much needed push for Atmanirbharta and Swadeshi, which is made in India, India being self-reliant, because remember, in the changing geopolitical landscape, self-reliance is one of the key mantra that perhaps the government is trying to push in. So therefore, Lipakshi, we'll see much more of made in India goods coming in. And of course, the people of this country are very enthusiastic about the fact that they want more of made in India goods, because when we go to any shop and if we see a label of made in India, it makes us proud. So therefore, made in India goods and the consumption of Swadeshi goods will be encouraged, will be picking up, and more manufacturing sectors, specifically from the MSME sectors. The Prime Minister also mentioned the fact that there is a lot of expectation from the MSME sector, and a lot of socks for the MSME sectors have also been rolled out from time to time by this government. So therefore, consumption as well as production and manufacturing in India by the Indian consumers as well as by the Indian manufacturing units will see a boost in the coming days, is what is expected.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dibyendu, for all those details. And speaking to DD India, K.R. Uday Bhaskar, Principal Chief Commissioner of CGST and Central Excise, Mumbai Zone, emphasized the historic nature of the reforms and the transformational impact they are set to deliver. Reflecting on the journey since the launch of GST in 2017, Bhaskar highlighted the enormous growth in tax compliance and collections.
It's almost 8 years now. India is going to see a new GST reform, that is 2.2. To get more detail on it, right now we have with us the Principal Chief Commissioner, GST Mumbai Zone, K.R. Uday Bhaskar, sir. First of all, welcome to DD, sir. What are the difference that you see between the old regime, the GST, and the 2.1?
Initially, GST focused on unifying the indirect tax structures all over the country, establishing a nationwide IT backbone, and stabilizing the compliances through IT-driven processes. Now, in this phase, emphasis is on rationalizing the tax rates more and refining, simplifying, and making it more taxpayer-friendly, and it is technology-driven.
Why after 8 years, this time around that we've seen here?
In last 8 years, they have met 56 times. That means on an average, every second month they have been meeting. It reflects how keen is the government to ease the compliance burden for taxpayers and to make GST a truly simple and efficient tax.
How the body of the GST is also, and you also, the team yours in Mumbai or probably in the state also, will look after all those issues.
Ministry of Consumer Affairs have already issued instructions to all the traders and to all the dealers, saying that these changes in these price structures will be there till 31st December or till the stock loss. They can use the same thing.
What could be the campaign that probably will reach out to the people and stakeholders with this new GST 2.0?
We will be reaching out to every one of them, especially wherever there is a rate reduction. We will be conducting market surveys wherever the benefits are not being given back to the taxpayer, to the consumers. So now we will take up those cases for closer scrutiny so that we will ensure that the benefits are passed down to the consumer.
India is getting ready for the 2.0, and this is just a beginning. Going forward, we may see the simpler tax regime in India, which will benefit not only consumers, but the stakeholders as well. Shirshila for DD India, Mumbai.
And still to come on DD India News Now. Fans and well-wishers bid the last goodbye to Zubeen Garg, the musical maestro and cultural icon of Assam. Stay with us for a special on what caught the attention of cine lovers at the 30th Busan International Film Festival. And the 9-day Navaratri festival begins with great fervour as devotees throng temples across the country to mark the first Navaratri.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Now. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. And moving on, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Arunachal Pradesh and Tripura today. In Itanagar, Prime Minister will lay the foundation stone of two major hydropower projects worth over 3,700 crore rupees. Well, the projects are aimed at harnessing the vast hydroelectric potential and promoting sustainable energy generation in the region. Prime Minister will also lay the foundation stone of a state-of-the-art convention centre at Tawang, located at over 9,820 feet in the frontier district of Tawang. The centre will serve as a landmark facility to host national and international conferences, cultural festivals and exhibitions. Also, with the capacity to host over 1,500 delegates, the centre will meet global standards and support the tourism and cultural potential of the region, in line with its vision of ensuring ease of doing business and fostering a vibrant entrepreneurial ecosystem. Prime Minister will also interact with local taxpayers, traders and industry representatives to discuss the impact of the recent GST rate rationalisation. Well, also in Tripura, Prime Minister will inaugurate the developmental work of Mata Tripura Sundari Temple Complex at Matabari. It is one of the ancient 51 Shakti Peeths located in Udaipur town of Gomati district. The complex will boost tourism, create employment and business opportunities and lead to overall socio-economic development of the region. And Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, who is on a two-day visit to Morocco, interacted with the Indian community in Rabat. The minister lauded the hard work and dedication that defines the Indian community across the world. He highlighted the transformational journey of India in last decade in multiple dimensions and how Indian diaspora echoed the growing sense of pride derived from rising global stature of India.
और हम रोजी रोटी कमा रहे हैं मोरक्को में, अपने परिवार की परवरिश हम मोरक्को में रह रहे हैं। तो भारत के प्रति हमारी निष्ठा, भारत के प्रति हमारा लगाव, भारत के प्रति हमारा प्रेम, यह स्वाभाविक है, होना भी चाहिए। लेकिन हमें नहीं भूलना चाहिए कि हर के बावजूद हम भारतवासी हैं, चाहे हम दुनिया में जहां भी हैं। भारतवासी हैं तो हमारा अन्य लोगों से कोई डिफरेंट कैरेक्टर नहीं है, हमारा अलग चरित्र है। इस मोरक्को के साथ भी कोई दगाबाजी, धोखा नहीं होना चाहिए। यही भारत का कैरेक्टर है, क्योंकि भारत की पहचान सारी दुनिया में कुछ अलग प्रकार की है। अब देखिए, मुझे खुशी है इस बात की कि आप लोग यह महसूस कर रहे हैं इंटरनेशनल कम्युनिटी में भारत का स्टेशन बढ़ा है, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय जगत में भारत का कद बढ़ा है। पहले क्या हालात थे? पहले इंटरनेशनल फोरम पर भारत कुछ बोलता था तो भारत की बातों को जितनी गंभीरतापूर्वक लिया जाना चाहिए नहीं लिया जाता था। तो आज इंटरनेशनल फोरम पर भारत कुछ बोलता है तो सारी दुनिया कान खोलकर सुनती है कि भारत बोल क्या रहा है। यह हैसियत भारत की बनी है। पहले ऐसे हालात नहीं थे और कितने सब चैलेंजेस हैं, जियो पॉलिटिकल और ग्लोबल चैलेंजेस, इन सब के बावजूद भारत आज वन ऑफ द फास्टेस्ट ग्रोइंग मेजर इकोनॉमी।
Well, marking the first ever visit by an Indian Defence Minister to the country, Rajnath Singh was received at Mohammed V International Airport by the head wali of Military Command of Casablanca and Indian Ambassador to Morocco, Sanjay Rana. Also, a key highlight of the visit will be the inauguration of Tata Advanced Systems, Morocco's new manufacturing facility for the wheeled armoured platform. This will be the 8x8 at Berrichid. This facility is the first ever Indian defence manufacturing plant in Africa, which marks an important milestone that reflects the growing global footprint of India's defence industry under the Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative. And India today stands at the cusp of a scientific revolution, a revolution where space, science and technology are not just instruments of progress, but pillars of national pride. At the forefront of this transformation is Prime Minister Narendra Modi, whose vision has placed technology at the heart of governance, development and India's global standing. From the moon to the sun, from quantum computing to vaccines, India's strides in the past decade have reshaped the way the world looks at us.
Nothing captures the imagination of a nation like its journey into space. Under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership, India has emerged as a global space power. Chandrayaan-3's historic landing on the moon's south pole in 2023 placed India in the record books as the first country to achieve this feat. The Aditya L1 solar mission is now studying the sun to better understand its impact on Earth's climate. This year, India crossed another milestone. Astronaut Subhanshu Shukla became the first Indian to travel to the International Space Station through the Axiom mission. With the Indian Space Policy 2023, the private partnership through New Space India Limited, Prime Minister Modi has opened the gates of space to innovation, entrepreneurship and a bold new era.
जल्द ही आप सब वैज्ञानिकों की मेहनत से भारत गगनयान की उड़ान भी भरेगा और आने वाले समय में भारत अपना स्पेस स्टेशन भी बनाएगा। अभी हम मून और मार्स तक पहुंचे हैं। अब हमें गहरे अंतरिक्ष में उन हिस्सों में भी झोंकना है जहां मानवता के भविष्य के लिए कई जरूरी रहस्य छिपे हैं।
Prime Minister Modi has consistently stressed that research and innovation must drive national strength. In defense, India has built indigenous missile systems, drone counters, and next generation surveillance tools. Strategic autonomy, once a distant dream, is today a national reality. In healthcare, India stunned the world with its rapid development of the indigenous COVID vaccine under Mission COVID Suraksha. The COVID digital platform became a model for the world, ensuring over 220 crore vaccine doses with efficiency and transparency. For Prime Minister Modi, technology is the front line of change. Under his vision, Digital India has become the backbone of governance and financial inclusion. UPI, DigiLocker and Ayushman Bharat health account are not just platforms, they are everyday revolution transforming lives. The National Green Hydrogen Mission and the Ultra Mega Solar Power projects are rewriting India's energy future. By championing renewable energy, Prime Minister Modi has put India on course to become a global leader in the fight against climate change while achieving energy independence. PM Modi's vision has always placed research and development at the core. From the Deep Ocean Mission to LEGO India, India is pushing the boundaries of knowledge. The National Supercomputing Mission and advances in quantum technology are preparing the nation for the next frontier in science. Artificial intelligence initiatives like Airavat are driving breakthroughs in healthcare, agriculture, and governance. And in agriculture itself, digital livestock programs and the purple revolution of lavender cultivation in Jammu are proof that innovation is transforming even the grassroots of India's economy. From space to defense, from energy to agriculture, from quantum computing to AI, India's rise in science and technology has one common enabler: Prime Minister Narendra Modi. His call for Atmanirbhar Bharat has turned into a movement empowering scientists, entrepreneurs, and innovators across the nation. As India looks to the future, one message is clear. With science as the foundation and technology as the tool, PM Modi is steering India into a new age of innovation and global leadership. Bureau Report, DD India.
And the Chief of the Naval Staff, Admiral Dinesh K. Tripathi, is on a 4-day official visit to Sri Lanka. During the visit, the CNS will call on the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka and engage in bilateral discussions with the 3 service chiefs and other senior government officials on a broad spectrum of defence cooperation matters, with emphasis on maritime security, capability enhancement, training and identifying avenues to strengthen cooperation. Well, he would also be participating in the 12th edition of Gulf Dialogue 2025 International Maritime Conference at Colombo on the theme Maritime Outlook of the Indian Ocean under Changing Dynamics. The CNS engagements in Sri Lanka are structured deepening bonds of friendship, paving the way for enhanced understanding in key areas of shared strategic and maritime interest in line with the vision of Mahasagar. And thousands of fans and well-wishers showed up to pay their last respects to Zubeen Garg, the musical maestro and cultural icon of Assam. The cremation of legendary singer Zubeen Garg will be held on 23rd of September at the designated site in Sonapur, Guwahati. The decision was taken by Assam government in consultation with his family members. Early on Sunday, fans gathered in large number and paid their tributes to the departed soul. Zubeen passed away in Singapore on Friday in what was first reported as a scuba diving accident. Reports later stated that he died while swimming in the sea without a life jacket. The singer was rushed to the hospital but was later declared dead. A post-mortem was conducted in Singapore before his body was handed over to India. At the 30th Busan International Film Festival being held in the Busan Cinema Center in South Korea, the main focus of the 10-day festival is to introduce new films and first-time directors, especially those from Asian countries. Well, as part of India's participation at the film festival, a special roundtable will be held with the Busan Film Commission at Bexco today. The session will bring together senior representatives from both sides to explore opportunities for collaboration in the film and creative economy sectors. Also, India is participating this year with its strongest ever contingent led by MOS Dr. L. Murugan, along with senior officials of the ministry and key creators from the Waves Bazaar initiative. And veteran Malayalam actor Mohanlal will be honoured with India's highest cinema honour, Dadasaheb Phalke Award for 2023, for his iconic contribution to Indian cinema. DD India spoke to him in South Korea, where he is attending the Busan Film Festival. In his first reaction after the award announcement, Mohanlal expressed a deep sense of humility and gratitude.
It's a high sense of gratitude. Mm-hmm. Okay. Something I never expected, never dreamt, even in my wildest dream. Mm-hmm. So this is something an actor can, require or he can achieve in his lifetime. This is a blessing, and I'm so thankful to the jury and to the government for considering me. So with a deep sense of humility and with all my love and pride, I'm accepting.
Well, Tarun Murthy, the National Award winner, filmmaker and director of the recent industry hit of Mohanlal, responded to DD News, saying it is a recognition for Malayalam cinema. He says it is a great fanboy moment for him too, who grew up watching Mohanlal films.
I feel this is an award for the Malayalam film fraternity. For me, as I mentioned earlier, Mohanlal sir is an institution of professionalism, of gratitude, and of the way of simplicity. He's always teaching us, each and every generation. That's why he's saying that this is an award he's dedicated to his past generation, his present generation, coming generation. He's like that, and very thankful being a part of one of his film of recent hit, and also very happy that this award happened in this year, 2025.
Well, the festival marks another step in strengthening India-Korea film cooperation and cultural exchange. DD India correspondent spoke exclusively with Mr. Kang Sung-kyu, director of Busan Film Commission, on the opportunities of India and Korea coming together.
India's rich storytelling traditions and Korea's cutting-edge content ecosystem can come together and create amazing creative stories and co-production. I'm joined by Mr. Kang, director, Busan Film Commission. How was the journey and how it has made it to one of the most prestigious film festivals in South Asia?
Yeah, so in Asian film country, really Busan International Film Festival had big contribution for developing the Asian film industry. For the first time, the company section started. So more, contribution, for Asian film industry. This year, really, we have, some event with Indian filmmakers and Indian, government. So really, I would like to have, new round, relationship, with Indian, people and filmmakers. Maybe in near future, we have great project between two countries.
Do we expect to have a great partnership if you talk about AI, content creation, or technology transfer?
I hope and wish in a cooperation more professionally, for the AI filmmaking technology and so. But anyway, so really important thing is to have opportunity. I mean, meet together, often.
From policy frameworks to studio collaboration, from content creation to talent exchange, we can look forward to great partnership with Korea. And that is what all about here at Busan International Film Festival, where India is making history with the strongest ever participation. With N. Shivakumar, this is Jayasana reporting for DD India from Busan.
And the 9-day Navaratri festival is being celebrated across India with great fervour on Monday as devotees thronged temples across the country to mark the beginning of the festival. Devotees offered prayers to Hindu goddess Durga and her 9 forms. Ma Shailputri, the first among the 9 divine forms of Ma Durga, is worshipped on the opening day of Navaratri. She is revered as the goddess of prosperity and regarded as the embodiment of Mother Nature, with devotees seeking her blessings for spiritual growth and awakening. Well, the holy town of Katra echoed with devotional chants and vibrant energy this morning as devotees thronged the base camp on the first day of the Navaratri. Pilgrims carrying offering of flowers, coconuts and red chunneries moved in long processions towards the revered Sri Mata Vaishno Devi temple. And time now for a short break. We'll be back in a while.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Hello. Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout ho gaya.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. Lipakshi Khurana, time now for a quick recap of the headlines. New goods and services tax rates come into effect from today, marking a historical shift in the country's indirect taxation. Prime Minister Modi says GST Savings Festival begins on the first day of Navaratri. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar expected to meet US Secretary of State Marco Rubio on UNGA sidelines in New York. Meeting comes a day when India-US trade talks take place in US. Gaza Palestinian state recognition set to dominate UN General Assembly summit starting today. 4 major nations support two-state solution, prompting a furious response from Israel. And in Asia Cup, India's dominance over Pakistan continues. Beat the rivals by 6 wickets. Abhishek Sharma named man of the match. And moving on, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar is in New York to attend the 80th anniversary of the United Nations General Assembly. Today, he is expected to meet US Secretary of State Marco Rubio. According to the US advisory, the meet is expected at 11 a.m. EST today. Well, the meeting would be the first one since Trump's 50% tariff imposition on India. Also, interestingly, the meeting comes on a day when India-US trade talks takes place in US. A high-level delegation led by Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal will visit the United States today to hold discussions on the India-US trade deal. The delegation aims to advance ongoing trade negotiations and works towards the early conclusion of a mutually beneficial trade agreement between the two countries. The discussions expected to be focused on strengthening bilateral trade, investment and economic cooperation across all sectors. Also, during the last visit of the team of officials from the Office of the United States Trade Representative to India on 16th of September, positive discussions were held on various aspects of the trade deal, and it was decided to intensify efforts in this regard. And for more, we have Akshay Dongre joining us from New Delhi. Well, Akshay, External Affairs Minister is expected to meet the US Secretary of State Rubio after the tariff imposition today. What can we expect out there?
Well, there are a lot of things that have a lot of potential to get resolved, especially when we are looking at the 50% tariff on Indian exports to the US. That remains one of the key concerns for the government of India. They recently imposed a fee on the H-1B visa applicants is a second point of concern that will be in all probability discussed with the US government. Besides that, other issues such as the issue of the Russian oil and other kind of concerns that the US have will most likely be discussed between the two leadership when it comes to India's commerce minister and his counterpart in the US. But it's not just commerce taking place in isolation. It's also the geopolitics, and that perhaps the reason why this is one of the most apt opportunity for India and US to try and find common ground in their ties, especially with both the commerce and the external affairs minister being in the US. They both will be meeting their counterparts at UNGA. India can assure US of its own situation as far as the dependency on this Russian oil is concerned, and as far as energy security issue for the people are concerned. So it remains to be seen that how the two leaders are going to sort the differences. But this seems like an apt opportunity to hit a reset on the ties between the two countries.
All right, Akshay. Of course, both the leaders are meeting simultaneously with a high-level Indian delegation led by Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal set to hold trade talks with the US. How do you foresee the outcome of these discussions impacting the broader economic and strategic relationship between the two countries?
Well, from what we are seeing, this perhaps is a rock bottom as far as the relation between the two countries are concerned. So hopefully we can only go up from here. And if negotiation and discussions are, successful, then perhaps we can do some sort of, rewinding of the good relations that we had, some sort of going back as far as the trade and commerce between the two countries are concerned on a mutually beneficial terms. That has been the key concern of the US side. And also India wanted to assure the US side that it also wants to make sort of a trade, or rather it wants to indulge in a trade that is beneficial for both the countries, and that is a permanent trade structure between the two countries. So a lot of modalities can be discussed and sort of future pathway for the trade between the two economic powerhouses can be set from this point onwards.
All right, Akshay, thank you so much for all those details. And moving on, meanwhile, at the start of UNGA 80 in New York, EAM Jaishankar met Secretary of Foreign Affairs of Philippines, Teresa P. Lazaro. The two leaders followed up on the recent state visit of President Bongbong Marcos to India. They also discussed the cooperation in the UN and the Indo-Pacific region. And the UK is set to push for a peace plan for the Middle East at the 80th session of UN General Assembly at New York after recognizing the state of Palestine. Britain, Canada and Australia announced formal recognition of the state of Palestine on Sunday in an attempt to pile pressure on Israel. Also, the decision by 4 nations from the West aligned them with more than 140 other countries also backing Palestinians' aspiration to forge an independent homeland from the occupied territories. Other nations, including France, are expected to follow suit this week at the United Nations General Assembly in New York. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu condemned the move. Hamas welcomed the move but said it must be accompanied by practical measures to end the conflict in Gaza and prevent Israel from annexing the West Bank. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas said recognition would help to pave the way for the state of Palestine to live side by side with the state of Israel in security, peace and good neighborliness. Londoners voiced mixed reactions on Sunday. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has previously made clear he opposes such a move. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has categorically rejected the one-sided declaration of recognition of Palestine by UK, Australia and Canada. In a statement, he said, and I quote, "I have a clear message to those leaders who are recognizing a Palestinian state after the horrendous October 7th massacre. You're rewarding terror with an enormous prize. And I have another message for you. It's not going to happen. There will be no Palestinian state to the west of the Jordan River. For years, I have prevented the creation of that terror state against tremendous pressure, both domestic and from abroad. We've done this with determination and with astute statesmanship. Moreover, we have doubled the Jewish settlement in Judea and Samaria, and we will continue on this path. The response to the latest attempt to force upon us a terror state in the heart of our land will be given after my return from the United States." Unquote. And moving on, in the United States, the memorial was organized for Charlie Kirk. After 11 days, he was assassinated. It drew tens of thousands of mourners at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Some called Charlie Kirk a modern martyr. Others said his death was a pivotal moment for the U.S. While Kirk, 31, was shot in the neck on September 10th while speaking at Otaha University as part of his popular public debate series. Authorities arrested a suspect after a 33-hour manhunt. The memorial service for the slain conservative activist left little doubt that Kirk's death had elevated him to iconic status for the American right. The service drew an extraordinary level of attention and some U.S. media likening it to a state funeral. Well, the event drew some of the most powerful voices in the country, led by President Donald Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, Kirk's widow Erica, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Among other speakers were media personality Tucker Carlson, Trump's Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, and Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard. Well, U.S. President called Charlie Kirk was violently killed because he spoke for freedom and justice.
Incredible and beautiful widow Erica, we know the weight of this monumental loss is almost unbearable. But even in the midst of heartache and pain too great to even fathom, you have somehow found the strength and deep faith to be a comfort to millions and millions of people. And thank you very much, Erica. Thank you very much. Today, an entire nation wraps its loving arms around you and your beautiful children We share in your immense and overwhelming sorrow, and we vow that we will do everything we can to ensure that your children grow up in a land where their father is honored and revered as a great American hero. That's what he is.
Well, in an emotional moment, his widow Erica Kirk broke down in tears as she told the crowd she forgave the alleged shooter.
That young man on the cross, our Savior said, "Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do." That man, that young man, I forgive him.
Well, months after Messi split, US President Donald Trump sat side by side with billionaire Elon Musk, a once trusted advisor with whom the US president had a spectacular public falling out at a memorial event for right-wing leader Charlie Kirk on Sunday. Well, Musk donated more than $270 million to Trump's presidential campaign, brainstorming key battleground states for the Republicans. After the election, he oversaw the launch of the DOGE, a controversial initiative that eliminated thousands of government jobs deemed by the agency to be part of a pattern of waste, fraud and abuse. But Musk broke with Trump over the White House's flagship tax and spending bill, which Musk called utterly insane and destructive. After the falling out, Musk went as far as to announce he was launching his own America First party, but little has materialized so far. And now let's take a look at other stories making news around the world today. Polling stations closed in Conakry as vote counting begins in a referendum on a new constitution. The draft aims to pave the way for elections while allowing the junta leader who seized power 4 years ago to run for president. Passengers are stranded at Santo Domingo Airport as a 5-hour power outage halts over 20 flights. With the blackout affecting operation, travelers are crowding the check-in counters, waiting for updates from the airport's management. Heavy rains in Taif have caused flash floods, with temperatures dropping to 28 degrees centigrade in Al-Hada and 27 degrees centigrade in Taif in Saudi Arabia. Security forces are managing traffic while the municipality clears debris and ensures drainage. Residents are urged to avoid flood-prone areas, and civil defense advisors caution as thunderstorms continue across the kingdom. Kigali, Rwanda made history on September 21st as the first African city to host the UCI Road World Championships. The event began with the elite women's time trial, followed by the men's race on a tough 40.6-kilometer course. Fans from across Africa, including Nigeria, cheered at the finish line, calling the atmosphere exciting and wonderful as racers completed the course in under an hour. And time now for a short break. We'll be back in a while.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that
Welcome back. You're watching TD India News. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and on to some business news now. Asian markets opened higher on Monday as traders pondered the U.S. monetary policy path after the Federal Reserve's rate cut last week, while President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown on worker visas kept sentiment in check. Japan's Nikkei share average opened up by 148 points in early trading. In South Korea, the benchmark Korea Composite Stock Price Index opened up 0.54% to 3,463.84 points. Taiwan's benchmark stock index opened 21.23 points higher, with early turnover reaching $155.65 million. Well, Shanghai Composite Index started roughly flat at 3,822 points by rising 1.92 points on Monday. Well, you're watching TD India News. Our time now for some sports news. India made it 7 in a row against Pakistan with a 6-wicket win at T20 Asia Cup in Dubai. Abhishek Sharma's explosive 74 and Shubman Gill's 47 set the tone in a fiery clash marked by dropped catches and on-field tempers. TD India's Mukesh Shukla with a detailed story.
Fiery and intense India-Pakistan clash in Dubai, and the drama began right at the toss. Indian captain Suryakumar Yadav won the toss and opted to field. Pakistani opener Sahibzada Farhan rode his luck, was dropped twice and went on to make a gritty 58, guiding Pakistan to 171 for 5 in their allotted quota of 20 overs. Indian fielding wasn't at its best, with fielders dropping at least 4 sitters. The chase, however, was pure dominance. Indian opener Abhishek Sharma came out all guns blazing, hammering a breathtaking 74 runs off just 39 balls. Shubman Gill was in sublime touch too, adding 47 from just 28 deliveries. The opening pair piled up 105-run stand that tore into Pakistan's attack and paved the way for ultimate Indian win. Indian captain Suryakumar Yadav lauded Abhishek Sharma for his efforts.
I think he's very selfless when it comes to his batting style. As he passes the power play, he can still bat the same way how he bats in the power play. But the way he analyzes the situation post power play, what is required of him, what bowlers are going to bowl, I think that's a plus point for him, and he's learning every game.
Pakistani seamer Haris Rauf and Sahibzada's celebration on his dismissal added to the tension. But in the end, the night belonged to Abhishek Sharma, deservedly named player of the match. Mukesh Shukla's report for DD India from Dubai.
While the Indian fans celebrated the team's victory over Pakistan in Super 4 stage of the T20 Asia Cup, they praised the batters for their clinical performances while chasing the target of 172 runs.
India rocks! India rocks! India wins! India jeet gaya!
One of the best matches, and yes, definitely the batting won the match for us, and खूब मजा आया.
We clinically finished them today. We batted for full 19 overs. We got them onto the ground with some hope, but then we squashed it. So well done, India. I'm very looking forward to meet again in the final, hopefully.
Come on, India! Come on, India!
Well, India produced a stellar performance at the China Para Badminton International Tournament, also clinching 12 medals in Beijing. Indian para shuttlers dominated across events, taking home 4 gold, 3 silver and 5 bronze medals in the Grade 2 Level 2 events. Tokyo Paralympic champion Pramod Bhagat made a triumph return after serving an 18-month suspension to claim the gold medal. Bhagat defeated Indonesia's Mual Imran 15-21, 21-19, 21-16 in the men's single SL3 final. He also paired with Sukant Kadam to secure a silver medal in men's double SL3, SL4. Meanwhile, Nitya Sri Sivan stunned reigning Paris Paralympic medalist Li Fengmei of China to bag the women's singles SH6 gold. And updates from the world of tennis. An inspired Italy successfully defended their Billie Jean King Cup with a 2-0 victory over record 18 times champion the United States on Sunday. They took their own tally in the Premier Women's Team competition to 6 titles. Elisabetta Cosciuretto and Jasmine Paolini both won their single matches to help their country triumph and prolong the American wait for another title after their previous success in 2017. And conservationists mark World Rhino Day today as a chance to celebrate achievements, acknowledge setbacks and renew the commitment to the actions still needed. The day is not just about reflecting on the past, it's about looking ahead. And thus the theme: progress, challenges and the road ahead. Take a look. The greater one-horned rhinoceros is one of Asia's most remarkable species and a living symbol of strength and resilience. Once on the brink of extinction, it now represents a true success story in conservation. Assam, with its famed Kaziranga National Park, has played a leading role in protecting this majestic animal, making the state a global model for wildlife preservation. The Kaziranga model of conservation has earned worldwide recognition. It combines scientific management of habitats, strict anti-poaching strategies and community-driven efforts to ensure the long-term survival of rhinos. Assam has shown zero tolerance to rhino poaching, even symbolically burning thousands of seized rhino horns to send a strong message to the world. Since 2016, poaching has dropped by over 85% in Assam. In Assam Assembly, Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma, while providing a statistics on rhino poaching, said 3 rhinos were killed in 2021, 2 in 2022, 0 in 2023 and 2 in 2024 compared to 20, 24 and 25 in 2012, 2013 and 2014.
মাননীয় অধ্যক্ষ মহোদয়, আজি বিশ্ব জুৰি আমি প্ৰশংসিত হৈছো। আজি যদি আমিও কম্প্ৰমাইজ কৰিলোহেঁতেন, এটা গড়ৰ খৰ্গৰ বিপৰীতে 10 কোটি টকাৰ লেনদেন আমিও কৰিব পাৰিলোহেঁতেন। ৰাইনো কিলিং যদি 2টা 0, 2021ত 3টা, 2022ত 2টা, 2023ত 0, 2024ত 2টা আৰু 2012ত 20টা, 2013ত 24টা, 2014ত 25টা।
The state's commitment has not gone unnoticed. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Kaziranga, where he interacted with forest guards and experienced conservation work firsthand, highlighted Assam's efforts on the national stage. His engagement helps raise awareness and inspire people to value wildlife protection. Bureau Report, DD India. That's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.